The name's Ethan Cole. Or, well, it was. Look, this whole story, my last night on the job, it all started for a really, really simple reason. Plain and simple, I needed cash. And I needed it fast. I was flat broke, totally desperate. So when I saw that ad for a night shift security gig, I didn't even think twice. Jumped right on it. I was so focused on the paycheck, it never even crossed my mind to ask why they were paying so much for someone to watch a building that was basically a mausoleum. Yeah, looking back, that was definitely mistake number one. And believe me, it was far from my last. So, this place, it was this old, hulking corporate tower right in Chicago. Pretty much abandoned. My whole world was this tiny security room with a big bank of monitors. And get this, on my first night, the supervisor, he doesn't even bother with a tour. Nope, he just shoves this single piece of paper into my hand. The rules, he called them. And right away, rule number one was just weird. It said I was never, ever to leave the security room between 2 and 3 a.m. A whole hour locked in? I remember thinking, seriously? What's gonna happen between 2 and 3 in the morning? It was so specific, It felt completely pointless. Then I read the second rule, and that's when things got even stranger. It was all about this one camera, camera 6. If it goes to static, it said, do not try to fix it. Like, what? My whole job is to keep things running, to fix what's broken. This rule was telling me to do the exact opposite. It just made zero sense. All right, so now it's getting properly weird. There's a rule about a specific phone number I had to call if I saw someone on that one camera. A dedicated hotline for a single camera feed. But honestly, it was the last thing on the page. This line scrawled at the bottom in this scratchy, messy handwriting. That should have been my cue to just get up and walk right out of there. It said, if the person is looking directly at the camera, it's already too late. I mean, come on, I actually laughed out loud. I figured it had to be some kind of joke, right? A dumb prank they pull on the new guy, a little hazing thing. So yeah, that was my second big mistake. I just crumpled that paper up, tossed it in the trash, and got comfortable. I was all set for a long, totally boring night. Man, was I wrong. And for the first few hours, it was exactly that. Boring. Nothing but the low hum of the monitors. 8 screens of empty hallways, dark offices, just me and the sleeping city outside. But then, at 2:17 a.m., right smack in the middle of that forbidden hour, it happened. Camera 6. Yeah, that camera, the one facing down the empty east hallway, it just flickered. A thick line of static suddenly buzzed right across the screen. And just like that, rule number 2 pops into my head. Do not try to fix it. But you know how it is. Curiosity is a killer. I'm muttering to myself, it's probably just a loose wire. And I zoom in. And for just a split second, the static clears. And I saw it. There was a man just standing there, perfectly still, right in the middle of the hallway. I leaned in, squinting at the monitor. I couldn't make out his face. It just looked wrong. It was all blurry and smudged, kind of like a watercolor painting somebody left out in the rain. Just this awful, distorted mess where a person's face was supposed to be. And then he moved. But he wasn't walking. No, he was glitching, like a bad video file, just skipping frames. 1 second, he's way down the hall. The next, bam, he's 10 feet closer. Then 20. He was getting closer and closer without taking a single step. My heart was just pounding in my chest, and right when his blurry face filled the entire screen, it went totally black. The quiet in the room was suddenly shattered. That dead screen was replaced by this awful, piercing sound. The desk phone was ringing. My hand was literally shaking as I reached for it. And the voice on the other end, it was so calm. Way too calm. It wasn't angry, not accusing me of anything. It was just stating a fact. And this cold, sick feeling just washed right over me. My mouth was completely dry. I managed to choke out a single word, just a whisper. Yes. And the silence that came back, wow. It was heavier, more awful than if the guy had been screaming at me. Then the voice came back, but it was different now. lower, urgent. He said, "Listen to me, very carefully. Do not get out of your chair, and whatever you do, do not turn around." My mind was racing. Why? What was back there that I couldn't see? And then I heard it. It wasn't coming from the phone. It was in the room with me. This slow, wet, heavy breathing sound. And it was close. So close. It was right behind my chair. I was just frozen. I couldn't move. All I could do was stare at that blank screen, listening to that horrible, steady breathing behind me. And then, all at once, the monitors flickered on, all of them, even camera 6. But camera 6 wasn't pointed at the hallway anymore. It was showing the security room. It was showing me. The camera angle was from up high in the corner of the room. And there I was, on the screen, sitting in my chair. And standing right behind me was him. That thing, the distorted, blurry-faced man from the hallway. And its head was just tilted, watching me. And then that voice on the phone whispered, and it was like the whole world just fell away. He said, "If it appears on camera 6 while it's behind you, it means it has already replaced you." And as those words were still hanging in the air, I felt something on my shoulder, a touch. It was so cold and heavy. And then nothing. Everything just went black. The next morning, they found the room empty. My jacket was still on the chair, the phone was off the hook, but Ethan Cole, gone. The thing is, the cameras, they're still recording, and they show someone sitting right here, in this chair. They show me. I'm watching the monitors, I'm waiting, because you see, someone has to be here. Someone has to be here to welcome the next new guy.